our girls have chosen to make a career for themselves as air hostesses.
The life of an air hostess. The world's first flight attendant was Ellen Church, an American nurse from Iowa. She was hired by Boeing Air Transport, a predecessor of United Airlines, in 1930 to serve as a stewardess on board. Church, who was also a licensed pilot, proposed the idea of hiring female nurses as cabin attendants to make passengers feel safer and more comfortable during flights, as air travel was relatively new and often turbulent at the time. Her first flight as a stewardess was from San Francisco to Cheyenne, Wyoming, a route on which she served meals, attended to passengers, and provided a reassuring presence. This role helped pioneer the profession of flight attendants, which became an integral part of commercial aviation. Air hostess profession is one filled with glamour, adventure, and travel. But it's also one of rigorous training, strict discipline, and a commitment to safety that few see beyond the smiling faces at the airplane door. To fully understand the journey of becoming an air hostess, you have to go back to where it all began. Air hostesses, initially known as stewardesses, first appeared in the 1930s, with airlines looking to hire registered nurses to tend to passengers' needs and medical emergencies on board. The first commercial flight attendant, Ellen Church, was a nurse and a licensed pilot, hired by Boeing Air Transport in 1930. In those early days, air travel was an exclusive privilege, accessible to only the wealthiest. The role of a stewardess was partly to ensure passenger comfort, and partly to reassure people who were nervous about flying, as air travel was still a novelty. The position quickly grew in popularity, and airlines began expanding their stewardess teams, leading to a greater formalization of the role. Today, becoming an air hostess remains a highly competitive process, with airlines looking for a specific blend of charm, poise, and resilience. Education is a fundamental requirement, with most airlines preferring candidates who have at least a high school diploma, though higher qualifications, especially in fields like hospitality or tourism, are often advantageous. But qualifications on paper are only part of the story. Airlines typically have stringent requirements when it comes to physical appearance and presentation. Prospective air hostesses must fall within a certain height range, maintain a healthy weight, and present a professional appearance. Some airlines even have specific grooming standards, including hairstyle and makeup guidelines. These criteria are not just about looks. They ensure that flight attendants can assist passengers in emergencies, reach overhead compartments, and fit within the compact spaces of the aircraft cabin. Training for the role is no small feat either. After passing the selection process, recruits undergo several weeks of intensive training that covers safety procedures, emergency protocols, first aid, and passenger service. They practice scenarios for potential in-flight crises, from handling disruptive passengers to managing emergency landings. Every air hostess must know the ins and outs of evacuation routes, how to use emergency equipment like oxygen masks, life vests, and fire extinguishers, and how to perform CPR. This training ensures that flight attendants are more than friendly faces, they are highly trained safety professionals ready to handle life-threatening situations. Once on board, an air hostess's primary role is safety, with customer service as a close second. Once training is completed and they begin flying, air hostesses experience a lifestyle like no other. They typically work irregular schedules, often including weekends and holidays, and they're required to stay on standby for sudden flight assignments. Their working hours can be long, sometimes 12 to 15-hour shifts, especially on international flights, with duty periods regulated by aviation authorities to ensure adequate rest. Air hostesses are usually given layovers in the cities they visit, where they stay in hotels provided by the airline, which allows them a brief respite before the return journey. This lifestyle is exciting but can also be physically demanding and emotionally draining, as they are constantly on the move and rarely home for extended periods. Maintaining personal relationships can be challenging due to the unpredictable schedule. In terms of compensation, air hostesses receive competitive salaries, with variations depending on factors like airline reputation, seniority, and the routes they cover. Middle Eastern carriers, such as Emirates and Qatar Airways, are known for offering some of the highest pay in the industry, along with additional perks like housing allowances, tax-free income, and travel benefits. In general, senior air hostesses, or those assigned to international routes, earn more than junior or domestic crew members. The job also comes with attractive benefits, including health insurance, pension plans, and discounted or free flights for the crew and, occasionally, their families. This means that air hostesses often enjoy a lifestyle of travel even when off duty, exploring new countries at a fraction of the cost. Air hostesses usually retire in their 50s or early 60s, though some may opt for early retirement. Most airlines provide pension schemes and retirement benefits, though these vary widely depending on the airline and the country. In cases of accidents or unfortunate incidents, airlines often have compensation policies in place for the families of crew members. The tragic reality is that, like all aviation professionals, air hostesses face inherent risks in their roles. While air travel is statistically one of the safest modes of transportation, accidents have occurred, resulting in the loss of crew lives. The airline industry has established protocols for compensating families in such instances, and crew members are covered by life insurance policies as part of their employment benefits. Beyond the public's gaze, air hostesses have also been subject to scrutiny and controversy. Allegations involving smuggling and human trafficking have, on occasion, tarnished the profession. There have been instances where individuals in this role have been implicated in these activities, leading to legal consequences and impacting the image of the airline. Similarly, high-profile scandals involving romantic entanglements with pilots or passengers have also surfaced in the media. While such incidents are rare, they have contributed to the mystique and allure surrounding the profession. It's important to note, however, that the vast majority of air hostesses are dedicated professionals who adhere strictly to their duties and the airline's code of conduct. Language proficiency is another essential skill for air hostesses, especially those working on international flights. English is mandatory across most airlines, but additional languages, such as French, Spanish, Mandarin, or Arabic, are highly valued. This linguistic versatility allows air hostesses to communicate with passengers from diverse backgrounds, ensuring that language barriers don't hinder in-flight service or safety instructions. In terms of in-flight perks, air hostesses are usually provided with meals during their shifts, especially on long-haul flights. The airline supplies these meals, which are often of the same quality as business or first-class offerings. However, some air hostesses may bring their own food, preferring specific dietary options not available on board. On longer flights, where crew members need to rest, there are designated rest areas, often small, private bunks at the back of the plane or even in hidden compartments above the passenger cabin. Depending on the aircraft model, the number of air hostesses on a flight depends on the aircraft size and passenger capacity. Smaller planes may have only 2 or 3 flight attendants, while larger, international aircraft like the Airbus A380 or Boeing 777 can have over a dozen. This team is structured with a lead flight attendant, known as the purser or chief purser, who oversees in-flight service and manages the cabin crew. As air hostesses progress in their careers, they can move up the ranks. They may start as junior crew members, eventually becoming senior attendants, then lead attendants, and finally, reach roles like in-flight services manager or chief purser, who are responsible for managing the entire cabin crew on larger flights. Senior air hostesses may also take on ground-based roles in recruitment, training, or customer relations once they choose to step away from active flying. Air crashes have been a tragic aspect of aviation history, and while commercial air travel remains one of the safest modes of transportation, there have been notable accidents over the years. Since the 1930s, The number of air crashes resulting in fatalities has decreased significantly due to advancements in technology, safety protocols, and training for both crew members and pilots. However, pinpointing the exact number of crashes and air hostesses who have lost their lives is challenging, as these figures vary across different sources and aviation databases. Nevertheless, some of the most widely known incidents provide a sense of the scale of risk that air hostesses have historically faced. Historical air crashes involving air hostess fatalities. Since the inception of commercial aviation, it is estimated that thousands of flights have encountered fatal incidents. In the 1970s and 1980s, air travel was less regulated and less technologically advanced, leading to a higher incidence of fatal crashes. Air safety records, such as those from the Aviation Safety Network, document over 1,000 major commercial airline crashes since the beginning of air travel. Though, thankfully, most did not result in large numbers of fatalities. Thousands of air hostesses have perished in these incidents, often in tragic scenarios where survival was limited by circumstances beyond their control. Among the significant incidents involving air hostesses: Pan Am Flight 103, 1988. This tragic incident, often referred to as the Lockerbie bombing, occurred when a bomb exploded aboard a Boeing 747 over Scotland, killing 259 passengers and crew on board. The bravery and resilience of the cabin crew, including the air hostesses, are remembered as they sought to keep passengers calm during the flight before the tragic explosion. United Airlines Flight 93, 2001. During the September 11th attacks, this hijacked flight saw air hostesses, such as C.C. Lyles and Sandy Bradshaw, who attempted to contact authorities and coordinate with passengers in their heroic efforts to thwart the hijackers. Their actions have since become emblematic of courage under dire circumstances, and their heroism is widely commemorated. Asiana Airlines Flight 214, 2013. This crash occurred during a landing attempt in San Francisco. The air hostesses on board were instrumental in evacuating passengers from the burning aircraft, saving many lives. Flight attendant Jeon Kim, in particular, is remembered for her bravery, as she helped rescue numerous passengers while flames began engulfing the cabin. Air hostess heroes in aviation history. Throughout aviation history, there have been several instances of air hostesses demonstrating remarkable bravery, presence of mind, and dedication to their passengers' safety. Here are a few notable examples. Vesna Vulovic, JAT Yugoslav Airlines, 1972. Vulovic holds the record for surviving the highest fall without a parachute. She fell over 33,000 feet after an explosion on board, miraculously surviving with serious injuries. Vulovic's survival story is legendary, and she became a symbol of resilience. Barbara Jane Harrison, British Overseas Airways Corporation, 1968. Harrison was awarded the George Cross posthumously, the highest civilian award for bravery in the United Kingdom, for her courage during an evacuation after an engine failure on BOAC Flight 712. She remained on the aircraft, helping passengers escape, and lost her life in the process. Neerja Banot, Pan Am Flight 73, 1986. Neerja, an Indian air hostess, is celebrated for her courage during a hijacking in Karachi, Pakistan. She helped passengers escape and shielded 3 children from gunfire, sacrificing her life in the process. Banot received several posthumous awards for her bravery, including India's Ashok Chakra, and remains an icon of heroism in aviation. Susan Gibbons, Delta Airlines, 1996. Gibbons was instrumental during Delta Flight 1288's emergency landing after an engine explosion. She calmed and assisted passengers, helping prevent panic and ensuring that everyone exited the aircraft safely. Prominent air crashes statistics and heroic air hostesses. Total commercial airline fatalities. Between 1930 and 2023, thousands of people, including air hostesses, have lost their lives in airline crashes. Aviation statistics record the tragic loss of many air hostesses, though exact numbers are difficult to confirm given the evolution of record-keeping practices. Estimated air hostess fatalities. Thousands of air hostesses have been involved in accidents over nearly a century of commercial flight. However, accurate data on air hostess-specific fatalities is limited, as statistics typically cover overall passenger and crew fatalities rather than role-specific losses. Impact of air crashes on air hostess safety standards. Tragic events have led to significant improvements in safety regulations, emergency training, and safety equipment for air hostesses and all flight crew. Airlines now prioritize safety to an unprecedented degree, with rigorous checks, training, and protocols to prevent future incidents and to better equip crew members for emergencies. Modern air hostesses receive specialized training not only in passenger comfort but also in high-stakes crisis management, making them an integral part of aviation safety and contributing to the industry's overall security and resilience. Air hostesses have come to symbolize resilience, courage, and professionalism, often serving as the first responders in times of crisis at 30,000 feet. Their sacrifices and bravery have been crucial in the ongoing evolution of air safety standards, transforming their role from a service-oriented position to one of life-saving importance. The profession continues to be celebrated not just for its allure but for the strength and courage of those who dedicate themselves to the safety and comfort of passengers. Through these historical incidents and their role in aviation, air hostesses have left an indelible mark on the world of air travel, embodying the spirit of service and heroism in the skies. In recent years, the role of an air hostess has modernized with the times, shedding outdated stereotypes and establishing a clear focus on professionalism, safety, and passenger care. Today's air hostesses are skilled, trained professionals who play a critical role in ensuring a pleasant and secure journey for travelers across the globe. Their story is one of both the dedication required to succeed in the skies and the hidden challenges they face along the way.